Almonds.
Almonds? Yeah.
Really love almonds.
I do.
I do.
I do.
You'll love the Mars Almond Bar. So many almonds, you get an almond in every bite.
An almond in every bite, right. Yeah.
Plus real milk chocolate. So get an almond in every bite. Mars Almond Bar. And now Mars Sprint Bar and Mars Crunchy Chocolate Bar. The best chocolate on Earth comes from Mars.
In some ways, I'm old-fashioned and sentimental. I save love letters, and I press flowers in books. But I do like the modern way to have prettier hair. That's why I like Nice and Easy. It's got built-in conditioners, and the color looks so honest. It lets me be me. I guess that's why Nice and Easy is the world's best-selling hair color.
Now, here is a corn lover, and there's nothing more gratifying to a corn lover than to know that her mother has given her delicious Del Monte family-style corn. More people eat it than any other corn like it. This is a special strain developed to be sweet and tender. And when a corn lover is eating Del Monte corn, she probably doesn't need to hear me talking about how good it is, right? Well, then I'm just going to go into the living room and talk about corn to the sofa.
Nothing's too good for Daddy and me. Mom brings Del Monte home.
Purina Puppy Chow helps little puppies grow into big puppies. But then its job is only half done, because even after he looks full grown on the outside, inside his muscles are still forming and his bones are still growing for about a full year. That's why he needs a full year of the extra nutrition in Puppy Chow. Puppy Chow for a full year, till he's full grown.
Decision 88, election update. Here is Tom Brokaw, NBC News.
Good evening. Senator Bob Dole wins a doubleheader tonight in South Dakota and in Minnesota. Let us show you our projections now in those Midwestern states. Dole is our projected winner in South Dakota, and a very impressive showing tonight in Minnesota as well for Senator Bob Dole. And look what else happened in Minnesota. Pat Robertson, our projected runner-up, beating out Vice President George Bush. On the Democratic side, in South Dakota, Missouri Congressman Richard Gephardt, our projected winner over Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. The vote now in South Dakota. As you can see, more than half of the vote has been counted. A very significant victory tonight for Richard Gephardt. It is his second Midwestern win. He won in Iowa, of course. Michael Dukakis spent a lot of money in South Dakota and was well organized but fell off the pace in the closing hours of the campaign. And Al Gore, who is trying to demonstrate that he's a national candidate, not just a regional candidate, gets only 8% of the vote. On the Republican side, Bob Dole, the winner in South Dakota, and another close race for second place between Robertson and Bush. If Robertson beats Bush here, it will be the third time that he has defeated the sitting vice president in the rural Midwest. So that would not be a good night for Vice President George Bush. We'll have a complete wrap-up on all of this tonight, including interviews with Gephardt and Dukakis at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News, New York.
Come on, you guys. The sun's already up. It's going to be a golden day.
Let's eat.
Oh, those golden grahams. Oh, those golden grahams. Crispy, crunchy graham cereal, family breakfast treat. Oh, those golden grahams. Oh, those golden grahams. Golden honey, just a touch with Graham's golden wheat.
It's a great tasting part of a complete breakfast for the whole family.
Try those golden grahams and have a golden day.
After you take away the bread, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and mayonnaise, what have you got? Well, with Oscar Mayer bologna, you've got meat, and lots of it. Cuts from the beef brisket, chuck, round, and flank. Cuts of pork side and shoulder, never cereal or filler. Oscar Mayer bologna. The beginning of a beautiful sandwich.
When can I pick up the pictures?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay, let me make a note of that.
You gonna write it down there?
Well, it's going to,
yeah.
Well,
then let's say Tuesday.
You mean 2 days earlier?
No, 5 days later.
5 days later, I thought as much.
If this customer were at a Photomat store, we'd be introducing him to our brand new picture pickup promise. Photomat's way of telling you exactly when your pictures will be ready.
That quick?
Sure, and if it doesn't work out, you get a free roll of film.
Oh, no. You get in trouble for that.
Oh, it's no problem.
Huh?
It's a Photomat policy.
The Photomat picture pickup promise.
Is there a Photomat store around here?
Saturday, the fun starts when Nancy meets Francie, Sunshine's mom.
Actually, we live a very quiet life here. Oh, I won't. And what do you call this? Bad timing.
Then there's a fire at the fishes.
The empty house 2 doors down, it's on fire.
Could Victor be a firebug?
These children are under my supervision.
Go fish!
And Starsky and Hutch are set up by the mob. Right after Blansky's Beauties and Fish.
I can't believe this. You know, Gravy Train's really been improved. Look how the guys go for it. It's a big improvement because Gaines just added a natural beef flavor. Improved Gravy Train even looks different. And dogs can taste the difference, wet or dry. Tests show they prefer its new beefy taste over old Gravy Train 3 to 1. It's fully nutritious, too. New Gravy Train, a big improvement in taste. Right, guys?
I missed my big chance last time. Angie, I'm not going to miss it again.
There it is.
That's the Athena 2000 electronic machine by Singer. It's $100 off. Push these buttons. It sews 25 stitches.
Beautiful.
Even measures buttons and makes buttonholes to fit in one step. If you missed your chance last time, the big Singer sale is back.
Hey, Debbie, if you was my mother, what would you think of your son now? Huh?
Oh.
You're the Pepsi generation. Come and have a Pepsi day. Come on, come on, come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on, come on, come on and have a Pepsi day. Wrap a thirsty smile around it. Raise your Pepsi up and down it. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Have a Pepsi day.
Gestures you make will...
Are your teeth really their whitest, up close? Is your breath really its freshest, up close? They can be with new Close-Up, the toothpaste and mouthwash in one. Clear Red Close-Up has 2 whiteners that get teeth whiter than the toothpaste most people use, and a real mouthwash. So it not only gets your breath Close-Up fresh, it also gets your teeth Close-Up white. Close-Up is for close-ups.
This is Professor Goody speaking to you from a diving bell 400 feet beneath the ocean, where I'm about to prepare some delicious Aunt Jemima frozen waffles just for me, not for that pesky waffle whipper. Waffle, waffle, waffle. I take them from the freezer, pop them into the toaster, and light, crisp, golden brown with Aunt Jemima syrup on them. Aunt Jemima waffles for kids who like a square meal for breakfast. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Waffle, 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 waffle. Wallace, please, stop. All right, Wallace, won't you join me? Waffle, 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 waffle.
That's a waffle whipper whipping an Aunt Jemima waffle. They're in your grocer's freezer. Is there a waffle whipper at your house?
Waffle, waffle.
A bunch of kids looking for action. So what's doing out on the street? Is this the way we ought to use our boy power? Think about it. America's manpower begins with boy power. Let's not waste it. Be a volunteer worker with the Boy Scouts.
All over the world, the word for great coffee flavor is Nescafe.
We're the world's favorite brand of instant coffees.
In America, Nescafe's great flavor comes 2 ways.
We're the world's best-selling too.
Nescafe Regular in the red label.
If Nescafe can please the whole wide world.
And now Nescafe Decaffeinated in the green label.
We can sure please you.
Same kind of flavor. Nescafe Regular, Nescafe Decaffeinated. What's your pleasure?
When the family's all together, life's the best that it can be. Life's more fun when you're munching when you're munching Fritos. 'Cause Fritos goes with fun, and fun makes family memories. And old or young, life's more fun when you're munching Fritos. Munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Fried corn chips.
Don't come near me.
Thursday, John Amos, Ernest Borgnine, and the cop of the future are set up by a girl on the edge. Then a new puppy brings Chrissy and Jack closer together.
Yeah, there's nothing a girl likes more than a little tickle on the tummy.
Knock it off!
Three's Company after Future Cop and Barney Miller.
I'll give you $50 for those sneakers.
$50. Okay? You can have them. They're terrible. It's to prove a point. Now, you wash in detergent alone, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's wash this sneaker in detergent alone and this one in the same detergent plus Clorox bleach. Now, see any cleaning difference?
The one I wash with my detergent is just 30. The one washed with Clorox looks so clean.
Clorox Clean. People can see the difference.
Hey, who woke me up? Oh, sorry, Cuckoo. It's this cold. I'm stuffy and my sinuses. Oh.
Try 4-way long-acting nasal spray, Nose. It relieves stuffy noses and sinuses up to 10 hours to help you breathe easier so you can fall asleep easier.
Hey, that's a blast.
A blast that lasts all night.
Thanks, Cuckoo. Your timing's right on the nose. 4-way long-acting nasal spray. The blast that lasts all night.
It's not too sweet. It's refreshing, crisp, and neat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
It's not too sweet. I repeat, it's not too sweet. Canada Dry cools your thirst. It's a taste that can't be beat.
It's not too sweet. It's a cold, refreshing treat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
Regular or diet, it's more refreshing because it's not too sweet.
When entering the world of art, you'd be smart to dress the part. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. With all the ladies draped in crepe, the artist loves the human shape. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. Hanes will make you smooth and silky, shapely, sexy. Wear a pair and you could be captured for posterity. Gentlemen prefer Hanes.
I hereby dub you the Easter Bunny.
Wednesday, a special family presentation narrated by Fred Astaire.
The Easter Bunny is coming to town today.
Let's all have a happy Easter.
The Easter Bunny's coming to town.
We here at the ad agency feel this commercial is provocative, motivating, and really class-a-roo. Now, what do you think, sir?
Only one shoe? Florsheim makes over 256 different styles. Show them all, big, big. What about the craftsmanship? Even our laces are better.
Have lace shoes?
Why don't we show a huge centipede wearing all the Florsheim shoes?
I like that. That could be a musical. Shaboom, shaboom.
Hey, I like that.
I like that.
Everything down.
I come to show you why mannequin flavor plenty enjoyable. I need water. See, water make leaf stretch. Wrap cigar well. Mouth enjoy flavor. Yes? Mannequin flavor special.
Sheer enjoyment.
Nobody can connect you with more of this country than United Airlines. With low-cost vacations from Hawaii to the New York Islands, to the mountains, to the oceans, to the sunshine, and back again. That's why in the friendly skies we say, your land is our land.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Sounds like you've accidentally invented a thermochemical energy source.
A scientific wonder becomes a nightmare.
Someone's walking around with enough explosive to turn the city into a pancake.
A power that could mark the beginning of the end for the $6 million man.
How does your daughter feel about the wash? She couldn't care less.
Mrs. Shep just uses detergent alone. Let's see what happens when she adds Clorox bleach to one of her loads.
Which blouse would you rather wear?
This one. This one's much cleaner than this one. It's a good feeling to wear something clean.
Well, I said you wouldn't care. I mean, it's just so much whiter. It's very obvious. That's the Clorox one. And there is a definite difference. From now on, we'll just have to use Clorox.
Clorox makes the difference.
I see now that she does care.
Look, Linda, I just bought a new seamless support bra that's so beautiful. I have to show you. Oh, better show you this way. It's the Playtex Support Can Be Beautiful bra, and it's seamless. Don't you love these pretty details? And these smooth, seamless cups. Plus this secret support designed for real support. And you know, it's so pretty. It makes me feel pretty. The new seamless Support Can Be Beautiful bra from Playtex. Support can be beautiful.
The American Eagle, Goodyear's symbol for its all-American kind of radial tire. Goodyear is committed to product innovation. We introduced rayon cord in tires. We created the polyglass tire and the polysteel radial. And now the American Eagle, with belts of Flex 10 cord instead of steel. Flex 10 is made from a flexible man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel.
The tire for America, the American Eagle, the tire.
Pardon me, what kind of dog food does your dog eat?
Young fella, there's two things I know. Checkers and dogs. Dogs like canned dog food. Especially Herman here.
Do you think he'd like Gaines burgers?
Well, he might. Yeah, leave this to me. Dogs like food that's moist and meaty.
But Gaines burgers are moist and meaty, see?
Go ahead, but...
And they taste terrific.
And you don't know nothing about Checkers, neither.
Gaines burgers dog food. The canned dog food without the can.
I found a recipe you won't find in a cookbook, but it's sure nutritious and a real money saver, too. Take a quart of Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk. Add a quart of whole milk. Mix, chill, and serve. You get 2 quarts of fresh-tasting low-fat milk and make a real savings on your milk bill. Carnation Instant Milk. Good for you and your budget, too.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't.
Plus, now there's also a new Mounds with creamy rich milk chocolate.
What you're about to see is the world's most revolutionary telephone switching invention. We call it Super Switcher. It has almost no moving parts, yet handles 4 times more calls than its predecessor. It required an investment of $400 million, but should ultimately save $1 billion a year. And soon, every major American area will have one. Looks dull, eh?
Well, imagine that each of these cars is a long-distance call. This new invention can handle over 500,000 an hour. That's 5 days' traffic on a busy Los Angeles freeway. Super Switcher. It should go a long distance to prevent traffic jams on your long-distance calls.
The Bell System. People using technology to help keep down costs and improve service. Keeping your phone system the best in the world.
It's the first show of the new year, and the Captain and Tennille do it right. With their guests Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., John Biner, Muhammad Ali, and Joe Namath. It's the new 1977 Captain and Tennille.
You are the apple of my eye, yeah. Forever you...
This is a cubic foot. There are 5 more of these inside the new Chevrolet than there are inside this year's older style full-size cars of Chevy's nearest sales competitor. That's based on U.S. government estimates of vehicle interior size as reported in the 1977 EPA Guide for New Car Buyers. The new Chevrolet with 5 more cubic feet of room. It stacks up beautifully. Now that's more like it.
Fellow Americans, stop dragging your feet. Wear kitties when you're going to go out on a date.
Look great.
But do you know your feet need a little love?
Kitty knows.
What an agonizing, enterprising, hard kind of day you spend working overtime. You.
Live it small.
You. When you shop, you need shoes for it all. To say comfort and style. If you're young at heart or young enough to remember, come to Kitty and explore at the Great American Shoe Store.
What's behind the brand of hot dogs you buy? You know you're getting solid value with Oscar Mayer and quality trusted for generations. There's wholesome meat protein from solid cuts of meat. The only meat Oscar Mayer uses. U.S. government inspected. Oscar Mayer selected. Oscar Mayer wieners and beef franks in handy twin packs. The flavor's as good as the good meat itself. Oscar Mayer, America's #1.
When did you start baking from scratch?
It's not scratch, Mom. It's new Pillsbury Plus.
A yellow cake this firm could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus.
A cake this moist could only be from scratch. A cake this rich could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus. The plus is pudding. Pudding right in the mix to add that moistness.
Rich flavor. New Pillsbury Plus, huh? Looks like scratch has met its match.
Cut. Reload.
That's a complicated-looking machine, isn't it? Funny thing is, a lot of people still think that taking home movies is that complicated, too. If that were true, believe me, I wouldn't take them. For instance, he's reloading the film. Let me show you how easy Kodak has made it for you and me with a Kodak Instamatic movie camera. You finish one roll of film, drop another one in, you're all set. How you doing, Charlie? Taking home movies couldn't be much easier than that, could it? You know, now is the time to start, too. When the kids are growing up, you're on your vacation, save the action and the color in movies. With Kodak projectors, movies are easy to show, too. And cameras start at less than $35. Actually, you know what Kodak does for you?
Try a taste of martini. The most beautiful drink in the world is the bright one, the right one. It's martini. Anytime, any place, anywhere. There's a wonderful world you can share in the bright taste of the right one. That's martini.
Why are women so happy about new Tickle antiperspirant? Is it because Tickle is the first roll-on with a big, wide ball? Is it because Tickle comes in 4 fresh fragrances? Or is it because Tickle helps keep you dry all day? Make yourself happy. Staying drier is nicer with a little Tickle.
Gentlemen, ladies, welcome to General Foods. Today, we're proud to announce a breakthrough in coffee. We're introducing the Perfect Cup. At first, I'd like you all to taste this new product, and then I'd be happy to answer any questions. Yes.
It's rich. All right, how'd you do it?
We discovered a process that removes bitter taste. Ma'am.
What kind of process?
We found that roughness and bitter taste went out as we reduced the caffeine down to 50%.
50%? Explain why you went to 50.
Let me show you. Run the film, Mike.
Smoothness and richness take over when there's 50% less caffeine than regular coffee. The Perfect Cup.
As simple as it sounds, that's the breakthrough. And speaking of a breakthrough, let's have a coffee break.
Introducing the Perfect Cup. Once you taste this coffee, you'll have no questions.
Well, you really did it to yourself this time.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop.
lovely bubbles, bursting into action, instantly soothing your upset stomach and speeding relief to your aching head. Alka-Seltzer works fast.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Hello, young waffle lovers, wherever you are. Professor Goody here, high up in this bell tower. And just so that pesky waffle woofer won't follow me, I'm pulling all the ladders up behind me. There, safe at last. Now to pop a couple of delicious Aunt Jemima frozen waffles into my trusty toaster. So light, crisp, golden brown. Oh, I could hardly wait. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Waffle, 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 waffle. Sorry, Wallace. These Aunt Jemima waffles are just for me. Waffle, 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 waffle. Hey, now. Waffle. Wallace, please. Waffle, 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 waffle. Oh, very well, Wallace. Won't you join me?
Waffle, waffle, waffle. This is a waffle whiffer whiffing an Aunt Jemima waffle. You'll find them in your grocer's freezer. Is there a waffle whiffer at your house? Waffle?
Cost of living got you down.
Prices are so high, I take a ladder to go shopping.
Cost of living got you down.
Money used to burn a hole in my pocket. Now it isn't even there long enough to get warm.
There's one bargain left in town.
Campbell's Soups. Try chicken with rice. Best parts of the chicken, fluffy rice, and 2 chicken stocks for extra flavor. About 6 cents a 7-ounce serving.
Sit right down and get your Campbell's worth.
Birth defects strike over 250,000 infants a year in this country alone. What can we do about it? Plenty. You know, research has shown that some birth defects can be prevented by proper prenatal care, and that includes good nutrition.
Well, that's not bad, but 4 pounds in 2 weeks isn't terrific.
I'm Mark Hamill asking you to protect the unborn and the newborn.
Those dirty rings. You scrub them, soak them, even bleach them. And you can still come out with... Ring around the collar! Now, try whisk around the collar. Pour concentrated whisk right on the dirt. It sinks in, starts to clean before you start to wash. Whisk around the collar beats ring around the collar every time. Whisk.
Here's Lucy was brought to you by Whisk. Whisk around the collar beats ring around the collar.
Mother Care take care of you before you're born and when you're...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mother Care go up to 10.
You can
Yeah, that's me. Good morning. How are we today? I'm awake. But that's all I can guarantee is, well, I can't even guarantee that. All right. It's 1982 today. 1982. You got it? 1982. Remember that. Do we have a 1982 TV guide? No. Not for April. That's all right. That's okay. That's all right. I said it's okay. Sheesh, don't get so upset about it. So what's going on out there? Anything? Anybody? Anybody? I got a TV guide here. This week's TV guide is May 1st through May 7th. There we go. This is the hardest part of the day, really. Getting rolling. Yeah, because when I get rolling, I'm rolling. I don't know. I don't know what it is this morning. I'm telling you. I did Minecrafting last night. I swear, I did do it. I was there. Was you? Hey, I know Joey was there. My little box, yeah. Well, I got the sniffles. I don't know why, but I do have the sniffles. Just gonna straighten up my desk here a little bit this morning. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm working on yet another week. Totally. This week, today and tomorrow, the 4 o'clock movie is all about Carl Gustav Jung, the noted psychiatrist and foremost proponent of dream theories. So we're going to check that out tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow. There you go. There's that. There you have that. Plug my phone in here and get it charged. This is the hat that I forgot to wear on Pink Floyd The Wall Day. So there you go. So I decided to wear it. Also, I didn't pull out a Pink Floyd The Wall 8-track tape, which I should have done. So what I did for today is today's album is Traffic on the Road. Alright, this is one of my favorite albums as a kid growing up. I used to sit and look at these pictures and wonder what it would be like to be on the road, to be touring, right? This is a great album. It is from 1973. It is produced by Steve Winwood and Chris Blackwell. It stars Steve Winwood on vocals, guitar, and piano, Roger Hawkins on drums, Jim Capaldi on vocals, percussion, and drums, Barry Beckett on keyboards, and Viv is the tour coordinator. Viv. And I don't see Viv anywhere. One of my favorite, we got Nobby is the tour manager, Jimmy Johnson, the sound mixing, David Hood, bass, Chris Wood, sax and flute, Rebop Kwakuba, percussion. Okay, Rebop Kwakuba. That's a name. Steve Winwood and Barry Beckett. Mentioned again. This is a great. Let's take a look at this one here. We can look at this. Look at this cover on the inside here. Look at that dude. Look at them dudes. Look at them dudes. Look at them dudes. Dudes on the road. Traffic I love the artwork on here. That was classic for me growing up, was this artwork of the freeway system. It's kind of a artsy-fartsy art deco. Alright, so what we're going to do today is, since it's Tuesday, we're going to do a 2 for Tuesday. So we've got traffic on the road in 8-track form. Let me go ahead and show this to you, because this is great. This is great. This is my 8-track tape, and it is in really good condition. It's got a new splice, and it's playable. So there you go. Let me go ahead and pop this price tag off of here, because I pick these things up, bring them home, and just stack them. They get stacked. They get worked on. Does it work? Can I listen to it? Yes, I can. Fantastic. And then it goes into a box or into a stack somewhere. This one, this particular tape, was in a drawer that I have down here. The drawer is about 3 foot by 4 foot. And these, I have 8-track tapes standing up in there like this, just rows and rows and rows of 8-tracks. So I was poking through the other day, and after I had gone through and pulled out the albums for the week, I went through, and lo and behold, I found this cute little on-the-road 8-track here. So I'm just going to very carefully wipe this what did I get? This price tag off of here. And then what's great about these particular model of tapes is that they are really, really easy to open. There we go. In order to open up these 8-tracks, you just push those 3 little tabs in, this one up top and those 2 tabs on the bottom. Push them in, and the 8-track opens up like a clamp. It just pops off. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You do that, you open it up, you pull the spool out, because it's wound around a spool. We're going to go into 8-tracks on one day. And you pull the spool out, and you clean off the shaft that the spool sits on. Put a little tiny bit of lubricant on it. Clean everything up, put it back on there. Run the tape, put a new pad on there, and then run the tape to the splice. Once you get to the splice, you replace the splice, the foil. And then, so you have to take it apart, put it back together, change the pad, put it back together, play it till you get to the splice if the splice is not visible, and then pull it out, open it up again, replace the splice, make sure the tension is good on it. Sometimes you have to unloop it once, or loop it once, depending on how tight or not tight it is. And there you go, that's it. We're going to do probably on a Thursday, an Arts and Crafts Day coming up. We are going to pull out several 8-tracks and open them up and rebuild them. So what I'll do is I'll go through my pile of recent acquires and open them up, check them out. I've got a little toolbox that I have that's got bags of splices, got rolls of foil, it's got all the little things. I've also got my chemicals down here, my lubricants and whatnot. What I really need to do is get into a fixing up my main 8-track player. It's a Panasonic. It is from the 70s, and I use it because I can hit a button on it and it will play the tape to the splice and then eject the tape, and then boom, I got the splice. Otherwise you gotta sit and you gotta wait and you gotta wait and you gotta wait, and then it clicks and you gotta eject it. Or if you don't eject it right when it clicks, you miss that fucking splice. And that's what I love about this player, is that little lever. I flip that little lever up and it only plays one track and then it ejects, and it's beautiful. So yeah, the only thing is that we can't really listen to, well, I mean, we can for a few seconds. We can listen to what we're repairing, but we can't like just let it play. You know, unless like we're doing the Grateful Dead stuff, and even then it's got to be like a bootleg. If we try to do any albums of the Grateful Dead, you know, traditional albums, we're gonna get the boot. We're gonna get the copyright boot, because that's that. Oh, you know what came in the mail yesterday? My daughter's AAA card, right? The Auto Association of America. She needs that because she's driving. In fact, the other day, her friend broke down, and she couldn't get a tow. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You let her know. Well, now she's got her own. My daughter has her own car. She could just call and say, hey, you know, help me. But I told her all she had to do was call us. I would have driven someplace or shown up where they were dropping her car off to give the guy the card or whatever. I'd have done that. I'd have gone to her if she'd have broken down somewhere, right? That's kind of a bummer. I was bummed out when I heard about that. I'm like, oh no, no she didn't. That's why we have AAA. It's not just for us. It's for family and friends as well. It's real important that you do something to help. Something to help. I have been in dire situations before where I've needed a tow and haven't been able to get one, right? So therefore, I know exactly what that's like. So when that happens to somebody else, I'm more than willing to step up and help if I can. And that tow truck thing, that's a way that I can help. That's a way that anyone in my family can help. I have given tows to perfect strangers before. Just because, right? Just because I can. I have had AAA bring me gas for somebody who's broken down. Give someone a jump. I don't think I've had any. I don't think I've helped anyone get their keys out of their car, other than helping myself. I have opened up a few cars for people who are like, oh man, I can't get in my car. Look, I locked the fucking keys in the goddamn car. So I've helped there before. I've used a Slim Jim. I've actually made a Slim Jim out of pallet strapping. Made one so that I could help someone get into their car. And then we actually kept it at the shop because it worked so good. Right? Totally, man. It is April 29th, 2025. Oh. I'm living in the future, sons. That's right. I'm living in the future. Living like this futuristic sci-fi world, right? And the thing about my futuristic sci-fi world is it's in this little shop, this little office, this little studio that is all vintage retro. It's all old guy stuff. That's the funny part, is that I'm living in that 2025 future that I saw living back in 1980. In 1980, it went from 79 to 80, and I was like, wow. I was in awe. I was in awe of time and space. All right? And 1980, that's what did it for me. That's what said, wow, man, you've made it. Right? You've made it. 1980, I was 12 years old in 1980. And so the 80s were pretty much my decade. Which is pretty much why I'm stuck here in the 80s. Today we're playing around in 1982. 1982, and we're looking at a TV guide from 1976. One of my favorite years. the bicentennial year in the United States was fun. It wasn't fun for everyone, all right? It not only meant, yeah, we survived 200 years, all right? It also meant a good, hard look at itself. And in 1976, we had to look back at the Native American movement. We had to look back at the, slavery. We had to look back at the Mexican-American War. I mean, we had to look back at how America came to be. And that's what I loved about 1976, is it kind of grabbed America and shook it. It shook it a little hard, because after that, we saw a lot of Civil War documentaries and movies. We saw a lot of slavery documentaries and movies. We just saw a lot of revivalism in, mainly in Hollywood. Hollywood was really coming into its own again. Hollywood was really run down in 1976. The Hollywood sign was just falling apart. Hollywood looked, all of Hollywood almost looked like Skid Row at that point. It was really bad. I got another bong today. I'm using the old graphics bong, my 1980s graphics bong. I sent one of these to a couple different people, my brother and a friend and stuff, because I was so in awe when I found these old style bongs, graphics bongs, and I was like, oh wow, I gotta send one of these to my brother. And I think I sent him a purple one. I also sent a red one to a friend. Let me know if you want a bong, if you want a graphics bong. I'll send one to you. Also, I've got shirts. If you want shirts, I got shirts. Lots of shirts. I was going to sell shirts to gather money for the reunion, but nobody wants to play. So we've got social media. We've got all of this ability to share and raise money, and nobody's interested. So we'll see. I am going to let the word be known that this is the reunion. It's still happening. This is what's going on. I'm going to be there. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to arrange a bunch of stuff. And if you're going to be there, let me know. And I'm just going to have to go there and say, okay, here, this is it. We're a couple of months out. It's planned. It's happening. So who wants to help? I've done this, and maybe it was too far out. Maybe it was like, people wanted to see and wait and see who else was going to go. And you get enough people waiting to see who else is going to go, and nobody's going to go, right? So, well, I was going to see if what's-his-face, but he didn't go. So, and the other guy was, well, I was going to wait and see if you were going to go. If you'd have gone, I'd have gone. Well, gosh, if you'd have gone, I'd have gone. So, there's going to be a lot of that. That's all right. That's, whatever. It's not, I'd like to see a few people, but it's not for me. I'm just throwing it because I'd like to see a few people, and if I can get to see a few people out of this adventure, then it's worth it. So, but I can't invest, thousands of dollars that I don't have. I can't invest a bunch of time that I don't have. So, I'm going to do my part, and I'm just hoping that others decide to do their part. There you go. That's all there is to it. Going in for a bone hit. Check it out. That one sounds a lot more fun than the other one. The other one, by the way, I cracked the bowl yesterday, or the day before. It's a glass bowl, dropped it into a glass ashtray, Just broke it into 2 pieces. No big deal. There's a smoke shop up the road here. Next time I'm out, I'll swing in and get a new. I'm going to get a new bowl, but I'm also going to get a new stem. The last stem I got was 4 because I busted. It was too short, so I'm going to get a 5 or 6 cent stem for my bong, and then I'll have an extra one. I might even get an extra ball too. You never know. I don't do any dabs or any of that kind of stuff. I don't do any real perversions of marijuana. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I do edibles at nighttime, and I smoke a lot during the day. That's it. Today we're going to look at some video game catalogs from 1982. I've got a little stack of video game catalogs, and they're all from 1982. It's my little video game time capsule, if you will. It's all about pixels. Pixels, pixels, pixels. Totally pixelated. Totally Television Tuesday back here in my box. There, see in my box. This is totally Television Tuesday. Because that's what it is. It's Tuesday. Yeah. I'm going to go heat this up. Get it good and hot. And then we are going to, we're going to do something. We're going to do something. Maybe Joey will show up, and I will give Joey a call, and we'll hang out. And we can talk video games. Because I'm sure he has enjoyed a few video games from my era. So, we're going to do that. So I'll be back in a minute. Let me get this coffee hotted up. Now, remember, I'm live here still, so you can hear me. I'm here. Don't go nowhere. Yeah, I can't believe that I'm actually getting used to not having any teeth. My diet is completely screwed up. I'm losing weight like by the pounds. But I'm getting used to the whole not having teeth thing. The bummer is that I've got to get my teeth into the dentist and have them worked on a little bit so they don't rub me raw after an hour. I put them in for an hour and I got to keep them out for 2 or 3 days to heal. And that's not right. So I need to get a couple of spots worked on so that I can put them in and keep them in. Once I do that, I don't want to build up calluses on the inside of my mouth, on my gums from this thing rubbing. So, so there you go. So this morning, the deal is to call the dentist at 9 and see if I can go in and have them something. If they can't deal with what I need done, then we need to send them back to the lab and have the lab do something to them. Right? Let's take a crayon and mark where we need to smooth it out. That's it. Polish the inside completely. And do a little bit of, you know, a little shaping in a couple of spots and polish the whole insides. That's it. There's one piece on the outside. I believe it's on the, I don't know where it's the top or bottom, but it's on one side, back tooth, where the gums, they just didn't bring the gum close enough to the tooth. So there's like this shelf there that goes the tooth, and then the shelf, and then gum. And that needs to be buffed down smooth because it just rubs on my cheek, right? So, unfortunately, the whole denture thing hasn't gone exactly as planned. I've probably worn them, just over a half dozen times since I've had them, and that's just not right. So far, unhappy with my dentures. So I need to get that dealt with. On that note, let's do a bong hit, and then we'll talk about, well, we've got a few things to talk about today. We got video games, we got the TV guide, and we got my little tiny pocket TV. We can turn it on, but there's no signals. I live in the mountains here. Even if there was a signal, it would be a digital signal, because everything has gone to digital and nothing is analog anymore. So, I mean, there might be a few analog signals out there, but I'm certainly not going to get them from where I'm at here. I should get a lot of analog signals being here in 1982, but no dice, no dealio berylio. Yeah. I'm just going to pack this bong hit. Yeah, baby. Good old graphics bong. Yeah. That's a piece from the past right there. I remember in Temecula in 1979, my brother had a graphics bong. At that point, I believe he would have been in junior high and high school right at that point. He'd have been 8th and 9th grade-ish. Right about the time we were in Temecula, California. Rancho, California, we called it back then. That was pretty cool. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember those days. My father would bring home Tower records, like almost every weekend. Every weekend he'd be going to Hollywood. My mother worked in Hollywood. My father went to school at UCSD, and we lived in Temecula. So my parents were never home. My mother was always, an hour and a half in that direction, 2 hours in that direction. My father was always an hour and a half, 2 hours in that direction. So we were quite often left to our own devices, and would, not get ourselves killed, but we would get into some trouble. And keep it from them. We got into a lot of situations that we just had to not let them know about, right? Living in Temecula, 1979-80, we were over at a friend's house, and my brother and my friend's older brother, they were fooling around with a BB gun and shot the front window right next to the front door of my friend's house. And that happened, and then his dad come home, and everybody had to run. And they didn't want to be left alone, because they knew they were going to get in trouble. So we had to stick around. But our parents weren't home. So we didn't have to deal with them. But I don't think we were allowed over there at any of Steve and Darren's house there. I don't think we were allowed anymore over there. It's kind of a bummer, because I only had like one or two friends, and none of them ever really, went out of their way to want to hang out with me. So any time that I was hanging out with somebody, it was real important. Yeah. Television Tuesday. Totally Television Tuesday. Just recently, over the weekend, starting last week, and then I finished it over the weekend, I watched on Netflix Wyatt Earp and the Cowboy War, narrated by Ed Harris. Fantastic documentary. Ed Harris, when he starts talking, at first you think, wow, is that Ed Harris? Because he's so old at this point. I mean, my gosh, he's got to be in his 70s or something. And he starts talking, and then after a few minutes, you're just going like, yeah, fucking Ed Harris, man. He just got such a great way of delivering a line. And he's just talking about the characters. And the characters, the guys that they got, the sheriff, Behan, Sheriff Behan. What a great actor, Sheriff Behan. Doc Holliday. Wow. And then Ike Clanton. They did a great job in finding, but most of all, Wyatt Earp, the Wyatt Earp character, the actor who did Wyatt Earp. Fucking phenomenal. I mean, you think that in your mind, you're thinking, all right, who did the best Wyatt Earp? You get your older movies, right? Your black and whites and your old colors and 50s and 60s and 70s and stuff. But when you think about it, it's like, it's either Kevin Costner or Kurt Russell. You're either a Costner or a Russell, right? Well, I'm a Kurt Russell. For me, Kurt Russell in Tombstone and Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. That was the quintessential Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, right? That movie is like the... but then you watch Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner, it's like, wow, that's a really good movie too, right? But then, but then you watch Wyatt Earp and the Cowboy War. And those two actors just knock it out, especially Wyatt Earp. He is so just deadpan. His acting is just Emmy-worthy, right? He has, because it's narrated, he doesn't deliver a lot of lines. He delivers a lot of just walk up and just bang, punch someone right square in the fucking face. And that was great, because the real Wyatt Earp would much rather just fucking duke it out, right? One guy or 8 fucking guys, it don't matter. He would rather have just bang, 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 knocked it out. And it was really neat to see all of the other little things that you miss in just watching a 2-hour movie. You watch a 6-part, 6 or 7 hour documentary, and then you see the big picture, you know. You see all of the stuff about the trials and the arrests and the killings, and how Wyatt Earp was such a bad man in the eyes of so many people. How it affected the whole country. I mean, it's a great documentary. If you can watch it, if you can afford the time to sit an hour or so, an evening for a week, watch it. On the 7th day, you will sit and reflect and go, wow, man, fucking A. Fucking A. This one's for you, Wyatt. That one's for you, Wyatt. Yeah. I still haven't had a cigarette yet. I keep thinking about it. You know, the main reason I smoked cigarettes for so many years was because I didn't want to smoke pot, right? I got tired of being looked at as a pothead. And so I would constantly stop smoking pot and start and stop and stop. And when I wasn't smoking, and then, of course, subsequently when I was smoking pot, I'd be smoking cigarettes. And while neither one is good or healthy, I should have just stuck with the pot. But everyone, at some point, gets to where oh, what's the point anymore, right? So when you get to that point, does it matter if you smoke cigarettes or not? Right? I don't know. I do not know. Do a little bit of cleaning here and do a little bit of incensing. I'm incensed. I just love the smell of a good Nag Champa stick. I love the smell of Nag Champa in the morning. No, really. Yeah, baby. There we go. Hey, bud, man. How you doing? Hey, baby. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to LA next week. If I do, it will be a week from today. I will be doing my show, taking a nap, taking my daughter to her class, ready for the concert, taking a nap there at my daughter's school. And then she gets out of class and we're going to drive straight to LA. It's either that or all of the same, and then I don't drive her to LA. I'll probably take her to school if I don't take her to LA. And then I may wait around to make sure that everything works out properly with school and the ride, and maybe she'll get out early, maybe she won't, maybe she'll want to take stuff with her to school for the concert but not to school, so I'll just take it and hold on to it and stay down there and wait until she gets out of class, give her stuff, give her a kiss, and send her on her way to the show. Now I could do that too. So she knows that I'm available for whatever, whether I'm just a ride for her and her friend, or if I'm going into the show. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I just do the dad thing. The concerts nowadays, the shows and stuff, they're pretty much all about her. Yeah, every once in a while I get to go see a show that I want to see, ELO and Lucas Nelson and Big Sandy and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it's about her. Even ELO, I mean, that was about her because it was the only time that either one of us was ever going to see ELO, Jeff Lynne, live. So that was really important that we go, and she and I, we shared that together. So we were always going to have that, you know. My daughter and I went to see ELO together. That's, wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah, sure, he was, 150 years old and very decrepit and couldn't remember the words, but it was fucking Jeff Lynne, right? So, worth it. Worth it, totally worth it. And it was the first show, right? So, you have to figure that for the first show, things aren't going to go exactly right. And it was still a great show. It was still a great fucking show. Yeah, totally, man. Yesterday we watched Hobo at the End of the Line. That was interesting. I liked it. It was an independent film about hobo life and follow a guy. It's just, 22 minutes that followed a guy who rode the rail and met some other hobos and talked about hobo life. And everybody just went their separate ways after that. That was it. It was really, well, bland, really. But it was, it seemed pretty realistic, They didn't go do a bunch of weird stories. They didn't involve a bunch of weird drama or anything. It was just, this is life on the road. Guys who ride the rail from town to town. And, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I was a hobo. Not, I didn't ride the rails. But I was a homeless guy. Homeless? What do they call those? Hobos? Yeah, I was a homo. What do you mean you were? I was homeless. You mean hobo? Well, yeah, but I didn't ride the rails, so I was just a homo. Oh, okay. Do you know what that word means? Yeah, what does it mean? Never mind. You can't teach this guy anything. Yeah. And I have yet to hear about the van. My van has been in the shop since last week. I think we dropped it off on Tuesday, so it's been there about a week. We dropped it off at the end of the day. They had a few days to play around with it and diagnose it. They had it over the weekend. They were closed over the weekend, so I imagine maybe they had they wanted to let it sit and then get it and start it up and see if it was going to do its thing. So I just want it to act up when they have it so they can get an idea of what's going on, right? That's it. If I could do that, that would be great. They did have a check engine light on, and they figured out what that was, but they were trying to figure out if that's, which of that. So, good luck. I want to call them, but I also want to give them time to have it and deal with it. I want my van, but I want it back in working order. And if I got to leave it there and pick it up thousands of dollars later, so be it. Don't have the money to put into this van and spend thousands of dollars getting it fixed up. But it's like I can't not spend the money. I have to get it fixed up. I have to use it. I have to have it for why I want it. And why I want it is to fill that fucking tank up and drive until that tank is empty. And fill it up again. And drive around whatever area I'm in. And enjoy a new area. And stay for a couple of days. And then fill the tank up and come home. Right? That's what I want to do. Can I afford to do that? Well, hell no. But can I afford not to? At this point, no. Summer is coming. My daughter is going to be in between, right? First semester and last semester of university. And, well, first year and last year. So we need to do something. She's still at home. We need to do some camping. We need to do some adventuring. We need to see some of this country. When I was a kid, before I was her age, I had already seen all of the western states, all right? All of them. I had been through portions of every single state this side of the Mississippi, barring North Dakota, right? But it'd be nice to drive around. It'd be nice to put everybody in the van, dogs included, lock the house up, and drive and leave in the middle of the night and drive to Yosemite and get to Yosemite at sunrise. All right, kids, wake up. Check it out. Bada bing, right? And buy or rent a little trailer to pull. I'm fine with getting a cargo trailer, a little small, that's just a little, one you can't even stand up in, something small, but something that you can carry stuff into, a nice barbecue, some chairs, canopy, tent, bedding, a big cooler, the works, you know, a dog fence, so you can put a dog fence around the camp, the works. Facility-wise, you know, be in a place where they have restrooms and showers, and have a nice tent and canopy so that you can get out of the bugs. And that's it. Have that canopy up against the van so that it's pretty much attached to the van. And then you have a fence that goes all the way around the van and the canopy. So the dogs have a yard. It's got to be something about 4 or 5 feet high. So our dogs can't get out and other dogs can't get in. And you take those big stakes that look like this and you just drive them in all the way around the bottom of the fence. And it can just be hinged panels, the accordion style stuff, whatever. You know, if you take panels that are hinged and then you set them out around an area, you know, block off the bottom of the van, put a canopy in front of the double door on the side of the van, have it completely enclosed, put a doggy fence around the canopy on 3 sides, so they can either be in the van or they can be in the canopy area, but they cannot escape. That's it. And then you have a spot where you can either go in and out through the zipper or in and out through the front door of the van, you know, and then have a tent that butts up against that canopy. So you can pretty much go through the little camping thing without going out into the outdoors and deal with the insects, the mosquitoes, the no-see-ums. I don't like to wear DEET. I'll burn some citronella candles and I'll wear some off, but you know, I like dogs to be able to lick me, so I don't usually wear that kind of stuff. I don't usually wear sunblock because it bugs the dogs. So, or lotion. Why don't you wear lotion, the girls? Your skin is so dry. Look, you move. If you move too fast, you leave a dust skin outline of yourself standing there as it just. So if I'm like, and I take off real quick, there's this dust silhouette that kind of hangs there and drifts down. I'm that dry. So there you go. Yeah, it is kind of interesting this morning that it's totally Television Tuesday. It's Tuesday and there's nobody here, which is why I'm dragging my feet in getting started here. I don't want to do too much before anybody or somebody shows up. So I'm just going to sit here, drink coffee, and smoke pot. I can, so I will. All right, going in deep this time. I forgot how good of a bong that was. That's a great bong. All right. I'm going to go heat up my coffee again and give you all an opportunity to get here, and then we'll talk about stuff. No, really. I don't mind. You remember, this is just to keep me busy, so... All right. Could anybody tell me what this shirt means? Huh? Anybody? Anybody? NAPQA 1982. Anybody? No? Well, I can't tell you either because I don't know. It's just one of those vintage shirts that I acquired. I think I got this one off eBay, and it was I think $8 or $10. And I got it mainly. It's a little too small for me, but I got it mainly because it says 1982 on it, right? And the 80s, baby. It's all about the 80s. So there you go. Let's just sit and meditate for a few minutes. How's that? Secretary. My beautiful secretary. She's the thing dreams are made of. She really is. She's beautiful. In more ways than one. I have no idea who she is. And that's pretty heavy. I have no idea who this girl is. But here she sits topless on my desk every day, looking directly into my eyes. And it just takes you places, right? It just takes me away. It really does. All right, just about 6 o'clock. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Escape, the radio series. We'll listen to one of my favorite episodes, Line Engine versus the Ants. And we'll talk about all kinds of things. Thursday, we're going to do Arts and Crafts Day. And we're going to look at a box of 8 tracks, another case of 8 tracks. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Friday is This Week in History Day, of course. Conspiracy Corner. On Friday, we're going to be talking about missing people. What happens to them? A small percentage of missing people actually come back, and an even smaller, we get to find out exactly why they went missing. But for the most part, missing people, it's just a mystery. Not only are they're missing, but we ain't got a fucking clue as to where they went or why or how. And that is the kicker. That there are so many unexplained missing people. So Friday, wow. Also, I have a cigar box here. It's in my Friday box. And it's just filled with some stuff. I haven't looked at it in a while, so we're going to open it up and look through it. I put this box together because I wanted a box similar to the box that Addie Prey has on Paper Moon. So I actually took a look at her box of stuff, a close-up picture of the things in her box. And I tried to reproduce that in my own fashion with stuff from my era, things that I would have had as a kid. And when I was a kid, I used to like to collect anything that looked cool, that I could imagine something about, if I would find a broken piece of jewelry, I had to hold on. I'm still like that today. If I find a piece of jewelry that somebody left somewhere or something, I gotta hold on to it. I'm like a crow. I'm like a blackbird. If I see something shiny, I gotta pick it up and bring it home, put it in my nest. So I got a lot of that kind of crap lying around. I got a lot of shiny little trinkets, funny little things that are just trash to most people, And I used to have pockets full of this crap. I used to have little safe places, little chests filled with crap. because I didn't have any treasures in my own life. If I were to get anything in my life when I was a kid that like was special to me, it would be gone within weeks, months, maybe a year. It would just be gone. And it's not that I would have lost it. It was that we just moved so many times. We'd move someplace, build, and then downsize and leave everything behind. You know, it would literally be take what you can carry, you know. And it's, what the hell, did you live next to a volcano? Pretty much. But that was my life growing up. You know, dump everything and leave. Don't worry about it, we'll come back. And then we never do. Put it in storage and then never pay it. And then it's just gone, you know. I lost so much of my childhood in storage, right? Why put things into storage if you know full well you're not going to get them out? Well, I have every intention of bullshit, you know. Then why is it that you're holding on to the things most precious to you, and those things are not in storage? But we have to give up all of our, you're just kids, you ain't got no precious stuff, right? So, yeah, there you go. What a world, what a world. I have a few photos that I thankfully was able to get from my sister and copy and give all of them back. There was some dispute about that. So the only things that I really have left from my childhood are a few photos. A few records that came to me via my father's ex-wife after his passing, and a few other little artifacts from my father's estate, which was literally a cigar box, a candy box full of crap. Yeah. Yeah. What am I going to leave my daughter when I pass away? Everything I have. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to build up riches and fill her pockets before I leave. I mean, that's I'm going to, you know, build up riches in her soul and fill her brain and her heart, but that's, you know, anything past that, that's just a little weird to me, you know. I'm not going to go to my death worrying about money. I'm not going to, you know, sit in my deathbed and count gold coins. That's not me. Yeah, I don't see the humanity in that at all. When, you know, wealth and riches come before people. You know, maybe it's because I've come from nothing, and I've had nothing my whole life, and I don't aspire to have any riches or wealth. It would be nice, but I'd have to win the lottery, because I'm not going to go out of my way to acquire buckets and buckets of money. It's just not me, you know. Other people, that's fine. You want to acquire that and then burn through it, and, you know, like those rap guys who come out of nowhere and they got millions of dollars and they're throwing money everywhere, and then a couple of years later they're living on the street with their hand out, you know, and their pants still dragging down around their fucking ankles. If there's one thing in this world that bugs me about people, get a belt, pull your pants up, you know. That's it. Yeah. Jeez Louise. It is 6 a.m. here on the Pacific Coast. It is April 29th, 2025. And I'm going to do a bong hit. There you go. Let's read from the TV Guide. It is Tuesday, May 4th, here. I won't say it. I'm not. No. So let's see, what do we have on Tuesday morning? Good Morning America, David Hartman. This is the Central California edition, by the way. Mike Douglas, The Jack Benny Show. Okay. All right. Hollywood Squares. Here we go. Lisa Guritzen, George Goebel, Bernadette Peters, Tony Randall, Wayne Rogers, Glenn Campbell, John Davidson, Phyllis Diller, and Paul Lynn. Bernadette Peters. My wife and I watch McCloud with Dennis Weaver. We watch that one episode a night, every couple of nights or whatever. Pardon me. We do this with various television series from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Last night's episode, Bernadette Peters played a call girl who painted men from out of town blue. She'd take them home to her place, fix them a nice meal, and slip them a Mickey, and then when they were passed out, she'd lay them down on newspaper and spray paint them blue to teach them a lesson not to come to town and not to come to New York and treat people like garbage. She was funny. She was great to watch. Yeah. Good old Bernadette Peters. I remember one of the first times I saw Bernadette Peters and knew who Bernadette Peters was probably the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin. That's a funny. I've got that one here somewhere. I think I've got it on Betamax or VHS or something, right? There it is. Here it is, The Jerk on Betamax. What's neat about this is, especially about this, is Bernadette Peters. She is adorable, as always, and weird, as always. But that was the first time that I knew who she was, as a kid, watching The Jerk on TV. Really, it's just a goober movie. Just a goober of a movie. But good. 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 Yeah. We've got the usual amount of stuff here. The usual TV shows on rerun during the middle of the day. Right? Ironside and FBI, All in the Family, I Love Lucy, Happy Days, Hogan's Heroes. The usual mid-afternoon crap. Oh, there's the trash man. It's a 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 trash man. Yeah, listen to him. All right, here we go. At 6 in the evening on Tuesday, May 4th, 1976. News with Harry Reasoner. News with Walter Cronkite. News with John Chancellor. And then 2 episodes of Star Trek on different channels. That's cool. 6:30, more news. Mobius music. Hogan's Heroes. At 7, Ironside. This has got to be a repeat, right? Yeah, it's one of the syndicated Ironsides. Bravo Julie. Some kind of variety show. And then Gunsmoke, Adam 12, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Mike Douglas, Neil Sedaka is the co-host, with Gabe Kaplan and Ben Vereen. And David Soul. Ooh, I bet David Soul sings. Right? Don't give up on us, baby. We'll still be... Shut up. All right, Hollywood Squares. Carol Channing, Lynn Redgrave, Roy Clark, Joan Rivers, Hal Linden, John Davidson, Rich Little, George Goebel, Paul Lynn. Huh. That might be fun. Bobby Vinton, variety show. 8 o'clock, Happy Days, repeat. 8 o'clock, Rich Little, variety. Rich Little, God, the guy had his own fucking show. And all he did was pretend to be other people. And he wasn't real great at it. He did a couple of guys pretty damn good. But other than that, it was kind of creepy to watch him do other people. You know, there were a couple of guys out there who were mimics, who did other people. And they just bugged me. I mean, dude, get your own life. Get your own fucking act. You spend you get paid to get up on stage and be other people. And the people who go to watch this show, to watch somebody else pretend to be somebody else, it's all weird. Weird. All right. Also at 8, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoon. Wow. Chespirito comedy. Drama movie Marooned, 1969, Oscar-winning special effects. Oh, right. Oh, astronauts. Gregory Peck, Richard Crenna, David Jensen, James Franciscus. I like James Franciscus. Gene Hackman. There you go. At 8:30, Laverne and Shirley. Laverne and Shirley. I love Laverne and Shirley. Oh, this is a good one. The girls are in a quandary over what to do about the delivery man who has fainted in their apartment. That's a great episode. The delivery man, it turns out that he's like Russian or something. He don't speak any English. Came to the country, got this job. He's starving, and pretty much he's hungry. He's tired and he's hungry, and he just passed out from exhaustion, right? And so, of course, the girls try to figure out what the hell's wrong, and there's a guy passed out. But ultimately, they just, take care of him, feed him, become friends with him. Laverne and Shirley, they're just the sweetest gals in the world. I'd love to walk in on them every day and say, hello. Okay, also at 8:30, Good Times. At 9 o'clock, SWAT and Policewoman with Angie Dickinson and Earl Holliman. Great show. Great show. All right, once again, let's check out this commercial ad here. Let's get a tiger puka shell necklace. It's like less than $3. I got to get like 20 of them. Limit 13. Oh, man. All right, here's a double-page ad for Merit cigarettes. Look at all of the hype they want you to believe about cigarettes. How many doctors, right, are in here? There's a lot of people who are just boasting about smoking Merit, right? Let's grab one here. Are you sure Merit is a low-tar cigarette? It is the best I've ever smoked. It has all those good things other cigarettes promise. Give me a break. Mrs. Robin K. Willoughby from Hollywood, California. Oi. They weren't paid for their testimony. Yeah, because it was imaginary. Yeah. Hey, writers, we need some testimony. Gosh, okay, here we go. Here's Phyllis. Here's Bob. Here's Dick. They all love these cigarettes. That's great. Thanks. Opera Theater. Trouble in Tahiti. I don't think so. MASH. A repeat. 9:30. One Day at a Time. Repeat. 10. Marcus Welby, M.D. Now there's a show I think we might watch. Robert Young plays a Welby. And James Brolin. Yes, Josh Brolin's father. Before it was Josh Brolin, it was all James Brolin, baby. And that's a good TV series. Because there's always, listen to this. A young woman, 6 months pregnant, faces the possibility of losing her child when she's badly injured in a car accident. So he's a doctor, so it's usually doctor stuff. My wife likes doctor stuff, so there you go. And then City of Angels, drama, crime drama. Wayne Rogers is Jake. He searches for an oilman's wife. This leads him to a Chinese brothel. Ooh. A murdered blackmailer. And a painful realization that Chinese thugs are looking for the wife too. Oh my gosh. J.D. Spradlin. J.D. Spradlin. That looks familiar. Or excuse me, G.D. Spradlin. Cassie Yates. There you go. There you go. Monty Python's Flying Circus. Switch. Drama. Yeah, Eddie Albert. Love American Style. At 10:30 we have International Animation Festival. And Dick Van Dyke. And then late night after 11 we have Mary Hartman, Mystery of the Week, Johnny Carson with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. Wow, that's got to be weird. The two dancers together. Did they ever work together? I don't know. You tell me. Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. New theories concerning the possible energy sources. So what? Masturbation? Is that an energy source? It could be. It could be. All right, so that was Tuesday, May 4th, 1976 here. And I'm just going to set this over there so that when we look at the full screen, we can see everything we've been talking about today. There we go. Isn't that special, everyone? Gosh, I feel special because there are so many people here right now. Thank you all for joining me. This is great. I feel like I'd like to thank the Academy. And I'd like to heat up my coffee. So, I'm going to heat up my coffee. We got 45 minutes left here. And nobody has to wake up this morning early. So, we may just go a little bit long. We just might. I'm going to heat up my coffee. I'll be right back. Go. Well, my wife made sure to let it be known last night that she had no reason to get up early this morning. So there you go. So I won't be I won't be worrying about waking her up early or at all this morning. She can wake up when she wakes up. So there you go. Let's see. So the movie of the day today is going to be The Jerk, because in honor of Bernadette Peters. So there you go. So it is Tuesday. So yesterday I did this, and I want to make sure to keep up with the crappy Kardashians. There you go. I'm going to open up my channel here, and I'm going to open up a YouTube link, and I'm going to find us what we're doing today. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to do that on the slower computer, because why not? Smooth Jack, toot 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 toot, Smooth Jack. Or is it Cool Jerk? I don't know. He's a cool jerk, is he? He's a cool jerk. All right, let's go traffic on the road, full album, and let's see who's got it. Who's got Traffic on the Road, full album, vinyl? Here we go. Vinyl Answer has this. So I am going to share it from Vinyl Answer. And thank you, Vinyl Answer, for answering our vinyl needs. There you go. And then I'm going to go to my show and load that and drop off this. I better turn off that just in case. And drop off this link here. And this is, there we go. This is Traffic on the Road. And this was what, 1973. 1973. Thank you. Final Answer. Full album. There we go. There is Traffic on the Road. Next, let's look up The Jerk. Right? Because we can do that. The Jerk full movie. There we go. Steve Martin. Full movie, Steve Martin right there. There you are. There you have it. Oi. Is it available? It is. If you purchase the whole thing on YouTube, you can so I could share that link, or I could share Fandango some movie clips. Let's do Fandango's movie clips. Is that what you want to do? No? Yes? No? Or YouTube movies? No? Yes? No? It doesn't appear to have the movie here full. So there you go. It's a great silly movie. Okay, I am going to share the playlist from Fandango of movie clips, so you can kind of watch it and get an idea of the movie. There you go. So here is yeah. paste. The Jerk. What year is The Jerk? The Jerk. 1979. Of course. There, oh no. It's not the full movie. It's just clips. There you go. Clips playlist. There you go. A little more specific. You have to be specific. And there we go. There's that. The Jack. Let's remove. And let me do it again and spell it correctly. The Jack. 1979. Clips playlist. And then let's look at it. Okay. There. Now we're correct. All right. The Jack. Ugh. I hate that shit. Oh. The box. I'm gonna just stretch this out here. And I'm gonna have some coffee and a bong hit. And then we will reach into the old Television Tuesday box and see what we got. We will see what we got in the old box. Yeah, because right now the time machine, the box, the time machine is set to 1982. So we are going to poke around in 1982. We were just in 1976 a little while ago. And with the album, we were in 73. And with the movie, we were in 1974. Oh man, all of these years were just wow. 1973, that was pretty heavy for my family. 1979, yeah, we moved to Temecula. Moved into an actual real house. That was heavy. We had never done that before. A house that was ours, right? Well, a rented house that was ours. But still. Yeah. 1976, like I said, one of my favorite years, bicentennial year. A lot of fun stuff and a lot of reflection. Important stuff, you know. The American Revolution at Magic Mountain opened this year, 1976. That's pretty heavy. Yeah, imagine 4th of July in 1976. That was pretty heavy. Pretty heavy stuff, man. Yeah, I was in the Boy Scout downtown parade in Elsinore, California in 1976. Just by chance, right? We happened to be living there and Robert wanted to be a Boy Scout, and so it's like, well, I guess I'm going to be a Cub Scout. If he played baseball, I had to play baseball. If he rode skateboards, I had to ride a skateboard. It was just horrible the way that I was set up to just be a copy of whatever he was, right? And that's the way it was. They didn't look at me as an individual. They looked at me as another boy, right? And barely that. But because we were born on the same day, supposedly, 2 years apart, we shared our birthday, which means I pretty much, my gift list was pretty much a carbon copy of whatever he got. They just bought twice, you know. Every year it was like 2 skateboards or 2 bikes or 2 this or 2 that, 2 footballs, and it was just like every once in a while I got my own thing, but not often enough for me to actually go, wow, I'm different. I'm different. Not this guy. Simple Sam, same. Simple Sam. Yeah, all right, bong hit. There you go. I have to push this thing forward because I have a tendency to move my hands around and knock things over. So I don't want to do that with that bong. So I'll try to put it out of reach. All right. It is just about 6:30 in the a.m. here. It looks like my partner in crime has gone on long at work this morning. So I probably won't be seeing him on the show today. Hoping that he just went home and went to bed like he should, because he really runs himself ragged. All right, I'm going to reach in here and pull out a little stack of stuff here. And then we can... I gotta cross my legs because my spine has to be... I just have to sit with my spine tilted a little bit, or it just hurts after a couple of minutes. So there you go. All right, what are we going to do first? Right now, we are going to look at my little TV. This is a Realistic by Radio Shack Pocketvision color portable television. It is fully functional, and that's not a belt clip there on the back. That is an easel stand so that you can stand it up on your desk when you're watching it. And then you turn it on and it comes on. I have no signal. I have absolutely no signal. Right now there's a little thing creeping up going through the channels. And it's finding absolutely nothing. Because there's nothing to find. Even if I took my antenna, which is still fully functioning, right, and still works and is not broken or bent or missing the top, it still finds nothing. So what I used to do was I used to take the extension antenna and I used to put an extension antenna into it, and I would take that and I would run that out of my car. And then the little TV that I had, which was very similar to this, in my Saturn in 1998, I would take mine, and I had a little piece of Velcro on it and a little piece of Velcro on my dashboard, and I would stick this to my dashboard, and I would watch TV in the traffic on the way to Disneyland from Carlsbad, California. So I'd get in the car and I'd shoot up the freeway, and just as you get past like San Onofre, what's it called? San Juan Capistrano area, then you start picking up Los Angeles. And then but you also start picking up traffic too, which is why I had it, because I could just flip this thing on and listen to whatever TV show or news or whatever I could get, what was on. And I was at that point, I was a couple of years into my phase of being burned out on music and the radio and all that entails. And so I was just into video games and movies, which is pretty much where I'm always at. And we just hit 2 hours on the show. Remember, we have a half-hour pre-show, so we've actually been live for about an hour and a half. Well, the pre-show's live, but recorded. Anyway, I also used to have this hooked up to a VCR. I could hook this up to a VCR or a DVD player or something of that caliber, and then watch whatever I wanted to watch through this little bitty picture here, which is pretty cool. And then I also had one of those cool little portable DVD player with a screen. It has 7-inch screen on it. So I could sit in my little Saturn, and because I was used to, at that time, I was still used to being homeless. I would do a lot in my Saturn. I would put a futon mattress in the trunk, throw down my seats, throw down the back seats, because they had 60/40 back seats, and then put my front seats tilted forward and pushed all the way forward, and I'd roll out that air mattress. And with a few things behind the driver's seats on the floor, I could level it out all the way across, and then use the backs of my front seats as headboards, basically. And I could spend a lot of time in that Saturn when I wasn't in my motorhome. And I had this little Chevy Astro Alero thingy that was just the front cab of an Astro van with this big swollen camper built on the back. Go in, stand up in there, overhead stuff. It was really neat. I wish I still had it. I gave it to my brother to live in, and it turned into a fire. Candles, I guess. But it was really neat. So at this point, I'm still, used to being homeless, having that Saturn I got it in '98, brand new. And here I am having a brand new car and a great job and my own little motorhome to live in. And I'm still living like a homeless guy, right? Basically because I had already done the apartment thing for 6 months, coming down to Southern California from Mammoth, after having been in Mammoth for a few years. And that was great. But after 6 months of living in an apartment, I did not want the apartment life anymore. Yeah, it was nice to have your own bathroom and your own bedroom and your own kitchen and everything, but the responsibilities were, and then having a roommate, that was not fun. I wasn't used to living with anyone, and then having a roommate that you're working with as well, and that just the recipe for disaster. Especially if there's any kind of friendship involved, because that just goes out the fucking window. But for a couple of years there, I was, Mr. Professional, and still had this whole mentality of being homeless. So it was easy for me to just jump into my car and live in my car, because I was already living in a motorhome, I remember living like that in the Saturn, going up to, Santa Barbara area, to the Renaissance Fair up there, and just crashing out in the back of the car. I think my brother went with me, and he found a place to stay with other campers and other people and stuff. But I was like, I'm going to sleep in the car. And I did. And it was great, because I had stereo, I had power, I had light, I had warmth, I had solitude. Yeah. And I could just draw up a couple of curtains, throw stuff over a couple of windows, and have a nice little quiet place to get away from. Because I love to go out and adventure, but I also love to oh, I gotta get away. I gotta, you know, have some alone time because too much people, and I start to get, yeah. Ask my wife. When we went to her brother's party the other Saturday, last Saturday or Saturday before, she's like, let's bring your van. And I'm like, are you sure? She says, yeah, let's bring your van, because you're after a couple hours, you're not going to want to be there anymore. You're going to want to go relax. And, you know, what better place than the van? And I'm like, wow, she knows me so well. Anytime we go anywhere, whether it's any kind of place that's going to be more than a couple of hours, she knows that I'm going to go to the car and I'm going to put the seat back, turn the radio on, and smoke a bowl, and get rid of my pain and detox from all of the people that are just, and it's usually so empty. Most of the shit that's being talked is just so empty. It's just meaningless and pointless, and I just get sick of small talk after so long. And then, you know, it's like somebody shows up and somebody's like, blah, 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 the whole fucking story of their life since the last time they saw each other. And oh man, there was somebody who was here a while ago that did that every single time. Every time they talked to somebody else, and they'd have to give them the same fucking, it's like they're reading from a script. Yeah, this is what was going on, and this happened, and this and that, and then somebody else would show up, and they'd go into the same fucking spiel again, right? And you can only listen to that so many times, especially if you heard it the first 20 times when they told you, and then they got to tell everybody that comes over the fucking bridge the same fucking thing, verbatim. I don't know how people can do that. You know, you tell one person, two people maybe, and then let it go. You don't have to tell every single person the same fucking story about what's gone on in the last 20 days or 20 years, all right? And for those people who haven't, 20 years, I don't even want to, yeah, then there was my accident, and then there was this, and then I got divorced, and then this happened, and it's like, oh, fuck, man, give me a break, man. Have a condensed version, you know. Give some highlights and fucking move on. Otherwise, you hog the fucking conversation all fucking night long. Seriously. Anytime somebody were to come over, that son of a bitch would hog the conversation. And then I'd have to hear the same fucking story. And it's like, dude, move the fuck on. Talk about something else. How about you talk about something from the past that's different? Something we haven't all fucking heard. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do a bong hit here because I'm starting to stress myself out. We got 20 minutes to go, and right now we're going to look at these video game catalogs. So I have 6 video game catalogs here. No, not there. Oh, here. All right. So here they are. This is, the first one is a Data Age catalog for the Atari video game system and the Sears Telegame video arcade. All right. And basically it's just a rendering of what your imagination is going to see, because this is not the video game. All right, these are imaginary airlock. Airlock looks very much like Tron. Encounter at L5. Now these, while you would think that, wow, these are going to be awesome to play, you get it, and it's a bunch of little dots on the screen, and you have to imagine all of this shit. So that's one of those. Atari is the biggest game guy at the time, up against like Mattel. Okay, so we got Atari, and this is all 1982. If you look at the back of this here, it says 1982 right there. There you go. What the hell is that? I keep getting scratched by something there. Okay, so here we go. There's the video game system. A lot of kids that I knew at the time had these in their homes. I did not. We did not have a video game system in our home. And once again, it shows the contents being imaginative renderings of what the game is going to look like in your head. And here are the contents, the games that we are looking at in this. And what else we got here? So, skill gallery. All right. And this looks like pinball. And, okay, here we go. Demons to diamonds. All right. On one side is what your imagination sees. And on the other side is that little tiny screen there with those little tiny pixel dots running around. That's it. That's what you're playing. You're supposed to see this, and you see this. Now, if it wasn't for big video games like this, we never would have gotten to where we are today. And if you look at all of these video games, here are the imaginative renderings of what your imagination sees. And then if you look down here, you see all of these little funny colored screens with these pixels running around. And that's it. And that's how we started. So we've got skill gallery, and then we got classics corner, so we can play chess, tic-tac-toe, casino, checkers, backgammon, that kind of crap. Space station. So this is Berserk. They got one space station game, right? 2 space station games. And here we go. So we got Space Station, and there's the Space Station video games. Space Invaders, Asteroids, Defender, Missile Command. So all of these were also video game machines in the arcade. So most of these were in the arcade as well. Adventure Territory, Adventure, Haunted House, Superman, and then we got a racetrack. What do we got here? Dodge 'em, Indy 500, Night Driver, Slot Racers, and Streetcar. And the cars, I mean, they're literally just, look at those cars. They're little pixelated stuff on a track. It's so simple, yet it became so addictive, right? So let's take a look at another one here, since we've only got limited time. Next we have Imagic, Mattel Atari video game systems. And this is the same stuff. We'll just open up to a page here. And if you look, you can see this one, they don't even screw with renderings. They just show you what the game looks like. That's it. And this catalog here, this Atari here, this one had 49 games, game programs, right? This one, Ottawa. This one, in the bottom here, somebody filled it out. They didn't put their name, but they filled out everything, the address, the phone number. Wow. It's too bad they didn't put their name. Had they put their name, I would have tried to look them up and find them. It's kids writing, so they would have been about my age. I would definitely try to look them up and see if if they want it, and I'll send it to them. That would be neat, huh? So here we go. Here's another one. Let's open this one. This one's a fold out. So that's cool. This is a little fold out one. And then on the back, it's just a little information. That's cool. And then Intellivision. Intellivision is one that they tried to sell as like, but this started it. Intellivision started it. And they had some great games, and they had great graphics. The graphics they're pixelated, but they're more intricate. They've got better sound. They've got better graphics. They've got multicolor graphics going on. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, look at the baseball game alone. I mean, it's like you're really playing. It's like you're really there. Holy crap. Let's see. I am going to go here real quick. Oops. I didn't want to push that button. I wanted to push that button. All right. I'm just trying to load up my phone again in comments because sometimes the comments aren't working right. There you go. There you are. Cool, Jack. All right. So Intellivision, they've got some great games there. Sports and, roulette. Oh, look at that. That's great. Lots of good sports games and gambling games. There were a couple of computer gambling games that I just loved back in the late 90s. I loved to just sit in my office back when I was one of them professional guys, sit in my office and play video games at the end of the day. And because I lived in my motorhome out back, I could do that. And I could just, sit in the office all night and play video games, watch movies, and, fucking screw around, get high. And that was pretty neat. And I used to enjoy just sitting and playing cards, solitaire, or poker, or most especially Dune. And then Dune 2000. But Dune was a great fucking video game. Wow. So there's my little collection of Atari cartridge catalogs. Why do I have them? I do not have a machine. I would love to have an Atari and even one of those Nintendo systems, Super Nintendo, something like that. An 80s one, a 90s one, that's fine. Nintendo 64, I think, was probably my favorite console. Although I did spend a lot of time on my Sega Genesis. I think it was the 64, because you could do the dual-handed controllers. Set up one for left, right, and then be able to just kind of lay back in your chair with both hands and just... And GoldenEye was probably the best one. But enough about the 90s. Totally. So about 10 minutes left on the regularly scheduled program. We may or may not go long. I guess it depends on what kind of noise the house starts to make. If the house starts to wake up, then I'm gonna. But if the house doesn't wake up, let's just hang out for a little while. 'Cause you know what? I miss this, guys. And I miss hot coffee, too. I'm going to heat this up. While I'm heating this up, I'm going to spread these out again. And you guys can look at these. Cool jerk. Cool jerk. I apologize for the shine. That's just the way it is. Alright, let me heat up my coffee, and I'll be right back. And then, oh, we'll do some bong hits, too. Woohoo! I'm here. I was in deep thought. Yeah, I was. I hope the microwave wasn't on for like 5 minutes and I was just standing there going, duh. Sometimes that'll happen where I'll start something or do something and then I'll just kind of zone out. Some people will say that it's the marijuana. No, I'm just getting old. I know when it's the marijuana. Very seldom anymore. But that's cool. Anyways, yeah, these whole yeah, I love this little TV. I love it. Yeah. So that's some of my Television Tuesday stuff there. Television is where many of us started to play our video games. After the arcade, it was like, you know what? The parents are like, well, you know what? If we just get a video game console at home, then the kid won't be out at the arcade. That damn arcade. That's where the evil happens, right? That's where the evil world is, in that arcade. The kids with the cigarettes and the drugs and the booze and, you know, come home. We got all that at home. We got cigarettes and booze and drugs at home. Look at the medicine cabinet. Right? Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. It's kind of funny that, you know, parents worry about their kids and all of the trouble that they could get into out in the world, and they don't realize that there's quite often there's more harm for them at home, right? Mom and dad's cigarettes, mom and dad's prescription pills, mom and dad's booze cabinet, right? Oh yeah. Cool Jack. Do. I'm gonna grab this jar over here because I can't. There we go. Ow. Close the drawer, dummy. It didn't really hurt. I say ow. It's like when people say sorry. Sorry. Say sorry all the time for nothing. I'm like that with the ow. I'll brush up against something and go, ow. Let me see, I'm going to pop this little cherry into there, the little cherry berry. And I like to take a little, the biggest chunk of each bag that I get, and put it in this little jar here, so that when I get down to nothing, right, I get down to nothing in my satchels, I still have these big chunks that are gonna last literally days. So that's my backup supply, is to take a little chunk out of each satchel that I get, the biggest chunk, the biggest, nicest chunk, and stash it away. I didn't mean to advertise anything there. I don't Yeah, advertising's not my thing. You either want it or you don't, you know. Good stuff there, good stuff there. Anyway, what are we doing the rest of the week? Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the radio show Escape, which was just one of my great favorite shows right now. It's headlining, which means that it's on 5 mornings a week. The number 1 slot is 8 a.m. If you were on the 8 a.m. slot on my channel, then you are being aired 5 days a week. So that's a lot of episodes building up, which means also that we're going to go through whatever episodes of that series I can find, we're going to upload until we get to the last that I can find, and then we're going to move on to something else. If it's one of the shows that I have that is a once a week show, and there's that slot, and then there's a once a month slot. The once a week slot, if there's something there that has a lot of episodes, we'll bump it down into the 8 a.m. slot and finish it off there, and then put something else in its place. As I stated before, I'm unsure how long this format is going to continue. I started this format about a year ago or so, where I just started uploading old-time radio shows, and then I put them into a time slot, and then I added old movies, and I was doing TV shows, and then I get a little carried away, and then I backed off a little bit and set the schedule at 2 shows a day and an old movie every day. And then on Wednesdays, a couple of extra old-time radio shows. And that kind of leaves it open so that occasionally I can do something big. I've got my Monday slot, which is pretty easy to deal with doing Minecraft. It doesn't take a lot, provided I get a nap. It doesn't take a lot to do the show. Doing a Friday nighttime nonsense and nostalgia show, that took a lot, especially doing 2 shows. At some point, I was doing 2 shows plus the video time machine plus some other live stuff, and it was just getting too much. I was just getting too into it. It looks like we're going to go long today. So in honor of going long today, I'm going to do a bong hit. There we go. Remember, move it out of the way. Move it out of the way. So we don't smack it going up for the coffee. This week's coffee cup is still Eeyore. Oh, bother. I've always been an Eeyore fan. I really got into Eeyore in 1998 and after, when I started working for a new friend, and he bought me a Disney pass, and did that for a couple of years, and went to Disney like regularly. I really do want to do a Disney trip, mainly because I'm not, the Disney guy, and I have friends who are, and that's cool. I'm more of a, the vintage past guy. I do Disney, but I do small bits of everything. Some people do like invest their whole world into like one thing, and sometimes that one thing is Disney. Those are the people that I go to for Disney answers, right? So that's cool. But I would really love to do a Disneyland trip. I'd love to do about 3 days worth, at least 2 days. But I'd really love to do like 3 days worth. I'd like to have the Park Hopper pass for 3 days. at least. And I'd like to take the dogs and stay in a hotel where we can have our dogs and not be overcharged. And have it so that we have enough people with us that we can go in groups, you know, and have time in the park and time in the hotel. Time in the park and time in the hotel. You know, somebody goes back to the hotel, and somebody goes in while somebody's at the hotel. They take the dogs out, run around, get some food, rest, relax. The other people go out, they ride a couple of rides, they want to come back and get some food because now they're hungry. And we just keep swapping back and forth and just do that. Boom, 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 boom. Right? That would be great. The big bucket list dream, of course, would be to do SeaWorld. I mean, not SeaWorld, Disney World. We've done SeaWorld. We've done the SeaWorld Pass and gone down regularly. My daughter still uses the term SeaWorld sandwiches because we would take a cooler filled with all of the fixins to make these great sub sandwiches. And so she would use the term, you know, let's make some SeaWorld veggie sandwiches or SeaWorld ham and cheese sandwiches. And it just means that she requires specific ingredients in order to make it comfort food, to have it, you know, have that palate stir up the memories. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Good time. Yeah, we also did Legoland for a little while. We had a Legoland pass. The unfortunate part is we were living all the way up here and would have to travel all the way down there to go Legoland. It was a cheap deal, right? We was a couple of dollars a month for 3 passes, and then we would get complimentary tickets. So, and then there was Bring a Friend Day, where you could bring a friend for half price, free or some shit like that. So we would be able to go down there and, you know, do the family thing. On occasion, bring a guest with us, usually a friend of my daughter, so that we could have some extra fun. Yeah, those days were cool. But living so far out here, right, and having 3 dogs, and having work that could very well almost be every day, and unless reservations are passing through specific days, then we have to be here on a regular basis to clean houses. So, and we don't feel comfortable leaving our house to be cleaned by other people, because, well, I don't anyway. Nor does my wife, really. So it's like, okay, if we can get 1 house or 2 houses to pass through on a day or two, and then tell the other house, hey, could you block this house for a couple of days so we could leave town? He actually will do that for us. So that's great. Other people will be like, well, let's get somebody in there to clean. I don't want to block it. But this guy, we have worked for him steady for a few years, and he's a really nice, really good guy. And I get OCD with stuff on my desk. So he understands that sometimes we need time off, and it doesn't always work when the place is slow. So he's more than happy to block the calendar on his house, for a couple of days, or let us have it for a couple of days so that we could have friends over. Yeah, that's really nice to have that kind of connection, where if somebody comes to town and they need a place to stay and he has a vacancy, how he'll just say, yeah, sure, no problem. Or he'll, we'll say, hey, somebody wants to rent your house, how much? And he'll say, just take it. If they want to pay you, take the money. And then we'll take the money and then we'll buy stuff for the house, bags of bar soap or, paper towels and toilet paper. That's usually what we'll do. We'll just take the money and, okay, we put that money towards towels and toilet paper. There you go. Because we're not in it to get rich, and we're not in it to make a lot of money off somebody else's project, So quite often we'll do stuff and just not even bother charging him for. He's got 2 mortgages. He's renting one place just to make sure that the mortgage gets paid. But they're B&Bs, they're rentals. He's at the most he's making collateral. He's making what's that called? That stuff that you get when you do stuff. Going in. Cover me. No, really. Great sound. Totally. So, what's going on with everybody out there? What's going on this week? Anybody? As you can tell, I'm vegetized. I got nothing going on right now. I've got this afternoon. I've got to go to the desert campus with my daughter for a couple of hours. I'll probably just crawl in the back of the car and nap, unless my wife decides to actually go, which would be great. Then we can go, hit a thrift shop or go by the Mexican store and get some bread and some food that she can't really get up here. Because just the other day she's like, vamos to DHS and get some, and I'm like, they got a store there? She said, yeah, which is, only about 40 minutes from here. So, but if we got to go down to where my daughter's campus is, well, why not? Take her. We'll get some stuff. Because usually what I do is I go down there, I drop my daughter off at her class. I go down the street, down the freeway, and another off-ramp, go to Taco Bell, and then come back, go to the park, and eat. And then either watch some Netflix or just crawl into the back and make a bed and go to sleep. So I guess it depends on what happens this morning. If I can get done here and eat something and go lay down for 2 hours, then yes, I definitely want to do something down there. If I don't get any rest between now and noon when we leave, then more than likely I'm going to want to take a nap down there, and it's going to be pointless for my wife to come. So I'm really going to shoot for a nap now. Before too long. So yeah, on that note, I'm probably going to be wrapping it up here, relatively soon. I had hoped that at some point I was going to get somebody here this morning, but nobody's showing up. Nobody's showing up, so that's cool. And even if somebody shows up, they're going to probably be too afraid to say anything anyway, and I get it. I mean, I've been a fly on the wall most of my life, right? Or a fly in the ointment, more like. Yep, that's me. A fly on the wall covered in ointment. Ointment. Hey man, you got an ointment? No. Do I need to call to do that, or can I make one now? No, ointment, not appointment. Oh. Huh? What? So remember, just there in the comments are the links to today's album, Traffic on the Road, and today's movie, The Jerk. There are some clips. And, yeah. You know, anytime you want to stop by, either in the comments, after the fact, or live, and hit me up about anything. Ask me about something. Ask me if I have something, and I'll see if I can dig it up for you. Because I got a lot of crap. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. So, and while I'm not really into collecting a whole bunch of one thing, I've done my fair share of that. So, if you're looking for a certain 8-track, hit me up. I might have it. If you're looking for a certain 45 or 78 or LP, I got hundreds, I got thousands. Yeah, also, if you want to talk vintage crap, I got a bunch of vintage crap lying around. So, mainly, I got all this stuff because my father passed away, and I got a smell of my own mortality, and I was surrounded by absolutely nothing from the past, right? Like I said, my past has pretty much been erased several times. So, at some point, I'm going to put my guitar up on the wall, which is probably one of the oldest things that I own, aside from a few photographs that are actually real photographs. So that'll be cool. Yeah, wow. I just keep flashing back to different periods in my life, and that's neat, because as much as possible I want to try to take you all with me. So when I do, I try to jot down a little note so that I can try to remember to bring that to you in some form, whether it be here live or here uploaded onto my channel, or usually in the video time machine, because that's where I can really put, you know, some work into. I can bring you stuff here, but I can really bring you a little bit more in depth with the video time machine. So this week's video time machine, so far I think I'm going to do an entire episode of the old American barn dance, because we can. So we're going to start off this week's video time machine with the actual starting of the old American barn dance, and we'll go halfway through that, and then we'll have a commercial break, and then we'll enjoy the second half, and that'll take us into about the first 30 minutes of the show. And then we'll do our usual a couple of education films, advertising films, and more commercials and movie trailers. I love to do the movie trailers because I can show what movies I was into back then. And in further episodes of Video Time Machine, we're going to do short movies, TV shows, entire episodes, and news. Did I say news broadcasts? Because that's important. Entire news broadcasts from specific periods in time. Because if you look at that in contrast to today, so much is unchanged. It's like the names and the faces are different, the locations are different, but everything is the same. Even the same, brain fart. The same topics. The same, that'll work. The same topics of discussion then are the same now. You know, they're still talking about, they were talking about groundwater back in the 70s. They were talking about air pollution. They were talking about political misers. They were talking about all of these things, you know. And then you look to see at the things they weren't talking about, and they're still not talking about. They're still not talking about the treatment of the Native American people by the U.S. government. They're still not talking about it here. It's everywhere. It's happening still. Pipelines through the Dakotas and Canada and all this stuff. And pipelines that natives don't want through their land. And it's their land, and they should be able to say no. But that eminent domain bullshit just totally tears up treaties. You know, the trail of broken treaties continues. And it's sad. It's really sad. It's totally... We've got to do a bong hit. Got to do a bong hit, and then we're going to wrap it up. And then I am going to eat some breakfast, and then literally go lay down for a few hours. I got to sleep at probably 10 or 11 last night, and I was just listening for noises. And yeah, I did get to sleep kind of early. I got in bed early, got to sleep late, didn't get to sleep till midnight, 11 midnight. Got a couple hours sleep. But I really need to get some more rest so that I can go down and do stuff with the family. My plan is to call the mechanic this morning and call the dentist, but I'll probably be asleep. I would like to. I've got to wait until 9 to call the dentist or the mechanic. So it's like by then I could be asleep for an hour, right? Sign off, eat some food, go lay down. And then get up and do the whole drive out of town thing for a few hours with the family. There you go. Let's see. While Minecrafting was fun last night, all we got to do was take a look at me running around collecting potatoes and pumpkins again, and a look at my ship, my pirate ship. It's big. It's big. I did the crow's nest. I need to do more on the sails, the main sail. Yeah, I need to get a banner, a flag to put on the top. I need to go, so this next week's adventure is going to be mining iron and copper. I think I want to put a lightning rod on the top of the mainsail, and some flags. I want to put some flags and some banners and stuff. I was going to do the sails down, but I think I'm going to do sails up and have them a little billowy. And I'm just going to use cotton. I'm just going to use white cotton as the sails because it's going to look nice. And if I do it right, I could put a skull and crossbones on the mainsail because it'll be big enough. But probably not. I'll probably just do some banners. Just do a shitload of banners around the ship. So right now the ship is one color. It's just oak. So I need to mine different color wood, and I need to mine some iron because what I need now are lanterns. I need to create a bunch of lanterns. Torches are easy. I need lanterns. I think I'm going to do an iron giant on my ship. I call them iron giants. But and then I'm going to try to get a crew. As soon as I get that done, I'm going to fill the hull of my ship with beds and workbenches, and I'm going to try to get my ship populated with a crew. That'll be fun. But next week, this Monday, we're going to do some mining. So if I get a chance between now and then, I'm going to make me a path down into the mine that I saw. In this mine, zombies kept coming out. Villager zombies, mind you. So I'm hoping that at some point I can actually find the buried city. And then, what do I take in? Golden apples or golden carrots or something, and feed them to these people and try to get them to rehabilitate, right? So there you go. I'm going to have to try this at one point, get a golden apple or... and I got emeralds out the wazoo, so emeralds are easy because I could just harvest potatoes till the sun comes up. And then just earn a lot of bread, a lot of emeralds doing that whole harvesting thing. So that's cool. But I need to make a path down and make a safe room down in this big, giant open, because the more open it is, the more scary it is, right? And I need to be able to hide and go to sleep at night so that I don't make it double danger. I'm going to be pretty close to the village, so I don't want to endanger my villagers. Which, another thing, I need to find out who I can buy the golden apples from. And then test those on some of those villager zombies and see what happens, right? Get them into an area, enclose them, give them one of those doses, and then wait, right? They'll get reinfected if you leave them out and moving around, or they'll infect others. So you have to sequester them, and then, you got to quarantine them first. And then you can give them their remedy, right? All right, another bong hit here. Take that, 1982. Remember tomorrow? Escape the radio show. One of my favorite old-time radio shows with a regular guest was William Conrad. Not Robert Conrad, William Conrad, the fat man, the original Gunsmoke voice. Cannon. Cannon from the old TV drama. There's one that I got to try to find for my wife and I to watch. Cannon. If I can't find it streaming anywhere else, I'll be able to find it on YouTube. There you go. All of a sudden we were watching, what was it? Buddy Ebsen in Barnaby Jones, and all of a sudden it got yanked off of Prime, because that happened to be watching something, a series, and all of a sudden it's gone. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? And then it's not back for a while. So we finished watching it on YouTube. We found somebody who had carried all of the episodes. They were uneven and out of order and stuff, but it was still worth it. We got to go through the whole list and watch, from what I understand, pretty much all of the episodes of Barnaby Jones. So that was cool. We're just about done with McCloud. We tried MacGyver, but it just got so weird. MacGyver got really weird, and the episodes just kept getting weirder. So every once in a while, we'll pop it in, watch an episode of MacGyver, and go, "Oh, that's why we stopped watching it." And then, and then it'll be a month or two before we watch another one. Which, that's okay. That's okay. You can't have everything. Not everything is as you remembered it. I don't know. Anybody's got any suggestions? Leave them in the comments for what TV shows to watch from the 70s, 80s. The 70s were great for those crime dramas. There were just a million crime dramas. So that's great there. Anything in the 80s, really. I mean, I think I'm going to watch that 80s show again. Because it's just so funny. It's only like 13 episodes. But it's so fucking hilarious. It's one of those damn, we should have done more, because it was good. And the network, you know, had we streaming and all of this stuff back then, the 80s show would have gotten picked up by Netflix or somebody else, and they would have brought it back to life. You can't do that with shows like that unless it's like coming back decades later, like the 90s show, or an animated show, you know, where you can bring it back, like they keep rebooting Futurama. And it's the same show in slightly different incarnations depending on who's rebooting it. That son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm telling you. I don't like reboots, reimaginings. I don't like that. So I guess we're gonna go this a half an hour long today. Be sure to come back. All right, tomorrow morning, and come back with gusto, because we have really got a lot to talk about, and it helps if we have some back and forth, because I'm only one man, and if I can get some back and forth on the show, then we can get some something going on, have a conversation. I'm a conversational one. I could do that. I got a slight bit of schizophrenia, so I can do a conversation of 8 all by myself here, no problem. All right, people, you know what to do. Be kind, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Do something for yourself out there, but just as well, do something for somebody else. Why? Because you can. All right, and it makes you feel good. It makes other people feel good. And most especially, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna be weird for you. All right, people, I love you very much. Take care. Take care of each other, and take care of yourself. I will see you in the mañana. Oh look, this. See, now this is what I'm talking about. I hit the wrong button, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hit it here. All right, so now I'm gonna do this, and now I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. All right, everybody, take it easy. I will see you tomorrow. Escape. Old Time Radio Wednesday. I hate it when I push the wrong buttons. It makes me feel incompetent. Incompotent. All right, you guys, love you. Take care. I'll see you in the mañana. Really. Go on, get out of here.